Good morning, viewers. Welcome back to McElroy's Motors, home of the weird, the boring, the projects, and the adventures. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am here with my buddy Joseph, who drove all the way up from South Carolina just recently, just to visit me, take care of me, because I have not been feeling the greatest. But we are now on our way to the Crawford Mini Auto Museum in Macedonia, Ohio, a place that Mr. Joseph has never been because this is his actual first time in the Buckeye State. We just had breakfast at a place called the Eye Opener, and it was delicious. But it's now time to have some fun.
Time to cue the music.
Indeed it is. Bum, bum, bum. We decided to stop at this Sheetz for a Tesla repellent, and we pulled up alongside this gorgeous thing. 1983 Toyota pickup, and judging by its wheels and the fact that I saw some fresh metal inside the fender lining, I'm betting you this thing has something to hide. Question is what? But I love it regardless. Alright, we are now hitting the road, but can I just say how much of a refresher it is knowing that this car's covered 6,900 miles since the November road trip began. It has covered 6,500 miles since we left Scranton, Pennsylvania. And yet this car is cruising along with no new foibles. The only new foible is we thought that the museum was in Macedonia, Ohio, but it's actually in Cleveland, Ohio. The repair shop is in Macedonia. So, we'll just gloss over that small detail and just move on. But yep, we should be there in about 40 minutes. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But also, according to the GPS, I went the wrong way. We'll gloss over that too. Oh, mail truck, just pull out in front of me, why don't you? We'll gloss over that as well. Nothing to see here. Everything is going smoothly. So far, we've seen since we left Akron. How many Teslas so far, Joseph?
Like 6 or 7.
I cannot escape the madness! Then again, I am part of the madness. That all depends on who you ask, of course. Then again, I am driving around in a 100 horsepower car with more than 40 stickers on it. I've said my piece. There's another one. Shoot, shoot, shoot! You see, viewers, my car was considered well ahead of its time. And it still is, because unlike a Tesla, which claims to be the best car in the world, this car has automatic sun visors. See? They work great. As I said in the beginning of the video, I told you guys that Joseph came up from South Carolina to take care of me. And what a man he is. I cannot ask for a better friend besides Jayson, Alicia, and Anthony, of course. But we were able to discover yesterday that I might have either hyperthyroidism or some kind of viral thing that might be going on. It's not contagious, thankfully, but I'll know the answers within a week. So, I'm keeping my fingers crossed it's nothing too serious. I had severe aches and pains, starting when I took Jayson to New York City, and it spread to other parts of my body. It went to my lower chest, it went to my upper back, to the point when I woke up the day before yesterday, I was in such agony. Thank God for Voltaren, thank God for acetaminophen, and thank God for, what was the other one? Toradol. But yeah, I am feeling a lot better now. But the doctor still would recommend I stay home until at least tomorrow. So I cannot work until then. But either way, I'm just glad I'm doing a lot better. We had no choice but to pay for parking. But for 3 hours, it was only about $2.60. Talk about surprisingly cheap. Given the fact where the heck we are. Because these houses here are just flat out insane looking. And there's lots of history here too. So if you love history, this is the place to be. And for relatively cheap. Compare that to Nashville, where I paid $28 for 2 hours. I see that look on your face.
Wow.
Yeah, that face look.
$28 for 2 hours.
Yeah. Do you know how much it cost me to park in Huntsville, Alabama?
How much?
For 4 hours, just $1.
Wow. Big difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a museum to attend. Talk about beautiful architecture for that Cleveland Botanical Gardens Center. But yeah, that is a beautiful building. I bet you it is stunning during the summer inside. Sponsored by the Jack, Joseph, and Morton Mandel Foundation. Jesus Christ, Joseph, I didn't know you sponsored this place. If only I had known. We're going to kick off the tour here by talking about these cars here. Powered by the strong force that is gravity, these are known as soapbox derby cars. Mainly because Akron, Ohio, where I currently live, is home to Derby Downs, the legendary soapbox derby course where people come from all around the world just to race these cars. But to see cars from 1946 and 1973 collectively is definitely a wonderful treat, and definitely a sign that you're in the right place. But if I look behind Joseph here, you can see that traffic light way in the distance. Cleveland, Ohio was not only the first city to use police cars, but they were also the first city to use traffic lights. We have this 1901 Crescent Tri-Moto here. Designed by John Lawson for the American Bicycle Company in 1899, the Tri-Moto was sold by Crescent Bicycles, the subsidiary of ABC. This cost new $425 and is powered by a one-cylinder, air-cooled engine, making a staggering 2.25 horsepower. Time now to give a shout out to the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Automobile Museum because we have a Cord here. This one is quite special because this one has never been restored, ever. Gordon Burig would be proud. Something that appeals to Joseph just as much as it is to me. This engine right here is the 1963 Chrysler Turbine engine, featured in the legendary car of the same name, the Chrysler Turbine. It was featured because it has no flywheel. Didn't you say that? No.
It has no torque converter
No torque
in the
converter.
transmission. It uses the turbine as the torque converter.
And I think it could run on pretty much anything that is flammable.
Yeah, anything that's flammable.
And can spin up to 44,600 RPM. What a time to be alive in the 1960s, though.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if they're putting this into a car. Come on, Doug DeMuro, review a Chrysler Turbine already. You just have to at this point. If you don't, I will be disappointed in you.
Big wheel in the back.
Yeah. Time to cue my friend Roger Fuller, who actually has a penny farthing from the year 1885. He will be stoked to see this, even though the big wheel is in the back. I think this whole thing is steam powered. What do you think? Because I see a whole bunch of levers and stuff like that.
I mean, it is plugged in, so it might be electric. I see an electric motor on the back.
It's still pretty neat.
Oh, yeah.
This is a 1909 Hupmobile, Model 20 runabout, with a top speed of 45 miles an hour, which is pretty fast enough for 1909. Hupmobile was designed to be a rival to the Model T, but if you ask me, I think it was much, much better built for its time. But I can just imagine cruising around cobbled streets back in the day in this.
Yeah.
Especially when people have never really owned a car before then. I mean, sure, the Model T was the first mass-produced car, but this is how a car should be built, by hand. It just blows my mind that the car wasn't really perfected at this time. So everyone had different ideas of how a car should operate. But we got the acetylene lamps, got the radiator right there, more acetylene lamps towards here, gear shift, parking brake, of course you got your steering wheel, gas tank, and more gas lamps to control the single tail lamp in the back. Did my viewers know that the smallest production car in the world is actually built here in the state of Ohio? The legendary Little Tex Cozy Coupe. Yes, I know it's a children's toy. You don't need to comment that. It is amazing to think that back in 2019, I actually worked at the factory that made the Little Tex Cozy Coupe. And let me tell you, that was an experience all in its own because so many people order them, and yet some of them just don't get sold in time. But yet the Cozy Coupe itself has been around for over 45 years, and it remains to this day one of the most popular children's toys of all time. Talk about an extremely rare motorcycle, at least by today's standards. This is a 77 Harley-Davidson XLCR, one of 2,000 built for 77. But if this was a 79, it would be just one of 9. And what do we have here? This little thing, is this like an accessory that came with it?
It's a 1916 Autoped scooter.
That had to be truly terrifying. Safety?
Yeah.
What safety?
That is pretty neat.
1.5 horsepower, 155 cc, built in New York City. But yeah, I cannot imagine cruising around New York City in this thing today, that's for sure. Whew, that just looks scary. Time to cue my Harry Potter fans because this is the first time I've seen a Ford Anglia in the flesh. This is of course a 100E Anglia, not a 105E made famous in the film. But this is powered by a 1.2 liter overhead valve 4-cylinder engine that made flathead.
Side valve.
Side valve, yeah. This made a staggering 13 horsepower. My, times have changed since then. But look how simple it is in there. I can only imagine take like a full family of 4 in this thing. Across England, through France. This thing is fantastic.
Yeah, and back in those days, they didn't have the channel tunnel.
No. So you had to take a ferry or
Yep.
get something amphibious, I guess. Because the channel tunnel didn't open until 1994.
Yeah.
We have here a Ford Thunderbird chassis. Good way to celebrate 70 years of the Ford Thunderbird because last year I was at the Stan Hewitt Car Show celebrating 70 years of the Ford Thunderbird. But to see the actual chassis in itself really makes you appreciate just how short the wheelbase was for its time. It was the first...
Yeah, it was the first overhead valve V8 made by Ford. It was the 292 cubic inch Y block. The reason why it's called a Y block is that if you look at the skirt of the block at the front, it forms a big Y. So that's why they call it a Y block.
It just makes you wonder what they were thinking with a short wheelbase like this, and yet such a big, huge body. A sports car.
Yeah, T-Birds aren't that big.
Yeah, they're not as big as people say they are.
Yeah, I think they look bigger in photos than in real life.
I agree with that. It is not often one gets to see a car from the 1930s in the flesh, but to see an Ohio-built car that's also the prototype. This is a 1932 Peerless, and it's absolutely gargantuan.
Yeah, it is big. Really big.
And I think that
I'm 5'11". The car's about as tall as I am.
you can do some laps around this and you wouldn't need a gym membership.
And the back seat is like, there's like
Tons of room.
yeah, that much. The back seat ends here.
And I think this would have been an $85,000 car in today's money.
Yeah, I'd say for 85 grand, you'd get your money's worth.
Oh yeah. Whew, that thing is huge. I mean, I don't even know how long the wheelbase is in this, but I imagine it is long.
The size of the brakes. They
Yeah.
fill up almost the entire wheel, and I don't know what size wheels these are. They might be 20s. Let's see if I can find a size on them. 18s,
Jesus.
and the brakes fill up almost the whole wheel.
Put in perspective, the Saturn that we took here today has only 14s.
Yeah, 14-inch wheels.
And that was considered a decent size back in the time.
Mm-hmm.
But 18s in 1932.
Yeah, a lot of cars back in the day had fairly large wheels, and
Yeah.
I mean, some of them, like I said, had 20s on them.
Look at that wood interior as well.
Yeah, beautiful.
All hand built, of course. And legroom for Abe Lincoln to stretch out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame he died 70 years prior, rather.
Mm.
The detail on this model is superb. I bet it took quite a while to put this up. It just goes on and on. Just when I thought I saw one side, it's three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
Got little tunnels for the trains. We got that little clock tower right there.
They got the ski lift.
Love the little ski lift and a little Ford dealership. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think your Lincoln can fit in that.
I don't think so.
Not without compromise, anyway. But this is simply beautiful. Wow. Who needs New York City? I mean, it just goes on and on. The detail is just terrific. We got a little bus depot, high school, Victoria Station, Village Square. Hey, look! It's my little shop. That is totally neat.
Nick's Tavern.
I can't run that one. I don't fit inside. One of my favorite forms of aircraft to ever been produced. The legendary P-51 Mustang. And when I say this thing is big, if I reach all the way up, I'm not even at the center of the propellers. It is massive. Such a gorgeous body too.
Mm-hmm.
I believe these were aluminum body too, weren't they?
Yeah, aluminum. Bare aluminum.
Now, for your dad to crash your Mustang there, Joseph, that's a tragedy. But if he crashes this, it's going to make world headlines.
And you want to know why they did them in bare aluminum?
Save weight?
That's right.
It is fascinating to think that this aircraft is capable of a speed of 444 miles an hour. It's got a 37-foot wingspan and is powered by a Rolls-Royce Packard-built Merlin V12 with 1,649 cubic inches, 1,490 horsepower. This thing was hell with wings.
And if I remember correctly, if you put it into more emergency power mode, because it had a 2-stage supercharger,
Right.
And I believe it was closer to 1,600 horsepower in that mode, but you couldn't use it sustained.
Yeah, nothing could keep up with it at the time. Nothing could. What a wild thing that thing is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have a massive treat here today. This is a 1916 Owens Magnetic. Arguably the world's first hybrid car. Used a gasoline engine, of course, but used electric motors to help with shifting. So technically, you're looking at the world's first Prius.
And the engine is not mechanically linked to the wheels. It spins a flywheel with magnets on it, which in turn turns the transmission in that.
Talk about a very, very,
Yeah.
very expensive car for its time.
Oh yeah.
To think, a Model T was $260. This was $5,000 in 1916.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph, would you care to do the maths on that one?
Gosh, for 1960. Let's see if we can figure this out.
$5,000 in
How
19.
much was $5,000 in 1916? For general purchases, like $150,000.
What a machine, though.
That's for general purchasing power.
Yeah.
As income or wages, it could be worth as much as $800,000 today.
So this is like an $800,000 car.
And it has wealth and assets, which I guess you could call this an asset, like $900,000.
So basically $1 million car.
At least according to the internet. So don't take my word on
Yeah,
that.
don't take the internet's word for it, but just give you an idea.
Very expensive car.
Oh, wow.
Jayson has one.
Yes, he does.
It's what, blue and black, I think.
I believe so, yeah. Next to the Owens Medic, we have a car that I've never heard of. This is known as a Stellite. It is powered by, let's see here.
It was built in Birmingham, England for Wolseley
Makes sense,
by
yeah.
Vickers.
Talk
And it has rack and pinion steering and a transaxle.
Hugely.
Which was a pretty big deal in 1914.
Especially with World War I just starting.
Yeah.
This car also won Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance winner in, I believe, 2023. Here we have a 1943 Heinkel turbojet engine. God, that thing is huge. I would say it's a good 15 feet long. Given the fact that jet engines were also designed to be more compact than regular internal combustion engines. And this thing is 15 feet long as it is. This is one of 19 ever built. It was donated by the United States Air Force Museum. Capable of producing 2,860 pounds of thrust in 1943. Just when World War II was at its highest peak. Put in perspective, we in the United States, we didn't make our pennies out of copper just to save copper for the war. Having lived in Mansfield, Ohio, I am actually thrilled to see this. This is the Rupp Gojo. It's got Joseph's name on it. But this was built by Rupp Industries in Mansfield, Ohio, where I actually lived. Like, I used to live right down the street from there, and I never knew for a second that they actually built this. This was the world's first quad bike as we know it here today, having debuted a whole decade earlier than Suzuki's design. This thing just looks insane. Forget the engine being between your legs. The engine is actually in the back. You can see the giant air filter sticking out right there. What is the engine here?
It's a Kohler single cylinder.
And it is two-stroke.
Oh, it is a two-stroke.
Yep. I could just imagine driving around this thing in the 70s. That thing looks scary but awesome at the same time. We just walked downstairs. And this is what greeted us. Holy cow. If you want to talk about a hefty price tag, I have this one covered. This is a 1914 Peerless Model 60 Touring. In 1914, this cost the equivalent of $6,000 then, but that was $185,000 in today's money. And I think it's fair to say it was the world's first SUV because you got 3 rows of seats, ground clearance, and a big engine as well. But look at the wood in there. Wow. What makes this car very special indeed is the fact that it has the biggest engine ever fit into a production car. It's 825 cubic inches or 14.6 liters. And what makes it even more special than that is it is one of 60 ever built, and this is the last one still running. Wow. I never thought I'd see this. But this is my boyhood dream bike, and I do apologize for sounding like Richard Hammond. This is a Vincent Black Shadow from 1952. At one point in its time, it was the fastest bike in the world, with a top speed of 150 miles an hour. This remained the fastest production bike in the world until 1973. Oh my god, I'm literally wetting myself right now. Not literally, but figuratively. Wow. My God. Time now to give a nod to Jeff Lane of the Lane Motor Museum down in Nashville, Tennessee, one of my favorite places in the United States. We got a Citroen Traction Avant here. This one's from 1956. I think, if memory serves me correctly, that this was the first mass-produced front-wheel drive car, even though we Americans put it into production. Oh, this thing is beautiful.
It was the first unibody front-wheel drive car.
The world's first unibody front-wheel drive car. Can we just take a moment to appreciate its number plate right here? Bond 007.
Chrysler Airflow. You're right.
Wait, what? A Chrysler Airflow. Yes! My buddy Ethan would go ballistic if he saw this. This is, of course, a 1966 Lincoln Model 66, better known as the Continental. But what makes it special, as you can see, it is finished in stainless steel. This was a very rare factory option, to which one of just 3 were ever built. That is really, really, really cool. We are about to show you a car that has no right to be here, but we are so thrilled to show it here today. The GM EV1.
They were all leased. None of them were sold to owners, and GM destroyed. Well, they were ordered to destroy all of them once they got them back, but apparently a few slipped through the cracks.
And this is one of them.
This is one of them. And isn't there some college that's like trying to get one up and running again?
Yeah, they're trying to get one. It was actually the first one to ever be sold.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, leased.
it was sold privately.
Oh, it was sold privately?
Yeah, sold privately.
It must have been one of the only ones that was ever sold privately.
It was the only one sold privately.
Okay.
So for this one to be here is not only a treat to any automotive enthusiast.
Yeah, you can see the influence from Saturn in the rear end.
Absolutely. This was actually sold new at California Saturn dealerships.
Uh-huh.
And talk about an exquisite machine for its time. Super aerodynamic. And I think these had a plastic body too.
I believe so. Don't quote me on that, but I believe so.
Yeah, don't quote us on that. What do we know? But wow. Look at all the buttons in there.
Yeah, everything's on the center console.
Take that, Sadie, with your window switches being in the center. But
Looks like the only switches on the door are the lock switch.
Yep.
And the outside mirror control.
you can definitely see the Saturn influence because the door handles inside.
It looks like there's something else, but I can't make out what it is.
You can definitely tell it's Saturn influence for sure because the turn signal stock looks like from Saturn. The door handles are from Saturn.
Yep.
So you can definitely see this thing has some Saturn influence. But if Saturn only sold this privately, they would probably be the best car company in existence. And it's a shame GM pulled the plug. Hey, get it? Pull the plug. Nissan made a big, huge deal with their Leaf having the charge port in the nose. But sorry, GM beat you to it.
It's pretty cool that it has projector lights.
Yeah.
Too.
Projector lights at 97, that had to be gargantuanly ahead of its time. And this was only a $65,000 car if you convert it to today's money.
Mm-hmm.
That was exceedingly good value.
I mean, if you were into that kind of thing at the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get to see one of my favorite electric cars of all time, the Sebring Vanguard City car. Oh my gosh. From my earlier videos, you guys know that I really do want one of these things. But to sell for only about $12,000 in today's money, that was unbelievable.
Exceedingly cheap. Yeah.
But again, it looked like this.
Mm-hmm.
A cheese wedge with nostrils. Oh, that is just so neat. Back when I was at Stan Hewitt Hall filming the Father's Day car show, I got to see one of the very few surviving white gasoline-powered cars. But up until 1915, they were making steam cars, and this is one of the steam cars. And their slogan was, "Runs like a sewing machine." And it comes from the fact that the white company was originally a manufacturer of sewing machines. And you may be wondering, why is the tires white? Aren't they supposed to be black? But in fact, rubber is naturally white. Kind of fitting for a car like this. But look at all the brass, look at all the eccentric detailing that went into a car back in its time.
And I bet if you lifted the hood, you'd see some copper under there.
Oh, I don't doubt it for a second. Probably some asbestos too.
Yeah. Yeah, the insulation of the furnace.
Yeah. This was a $74,000 car back in today's money.
Yeah. Now, the perfect car for if you want to get burned and scalded to death at the same time.
Joseph, you have no eyebrows. Have you operated this sewing machine lately? Oh, sorry, not a sewing machine, a steam car lately?
I have not.
I have.
Really?
Yes.
That's very neat. When did you do that?
Back in 2019.
Oh, okay.
Most terrifying thing I've ever done. You can imagine the look on people's faces when I was operating the whistle to release some pressure. Look on people's faces, they're like, is there a train? Oh my god. As you can see inside, it looks like a bit like two steering wheels. Of course, the larger one does the steering, but that smaller wheel, that is your throttle. And of course, there's no gears, no transmission, just pure steam-powered torque.
Actually, on the other white models, they actually did have a transmission.
I don't think this one did though.
Yeah, I don't think this one does.
I just like how they have put like little baskets on the sides.
Let's see, is there any linkage going to the rear end? That's for the brakes.
I think it was brakes on the rear only, pretty sure.
Yep, rear only brakes.
I think that's where you put your gas right there.
No, that's for the axle fluid. Let's see, where is the gas tank?
I bet you it's underneath the seat somewhere.
Probably.
Still a very fascinating machine. And of course, it was built here in Cleveland, Ohio. We have yet another DeLorean here. But did you guys know that John Zachary DeLorean, before he started his own car company, leaving GM high and dry, came up with the legendary Pontiac GTO?
Yeah, in '64 it was an option package for the Tempest Le Mans, and then in '65 it became its own model.
And the rest is history. GTO. Pop-up driving lights in this 67 Ferrari 365 California Spider. Easily a gorgeous looking car. Designed by the legendary Pininfarina. You can see the badge down there on the fender. But I think this car deserves an honorable mention because the most valuable car in today's money is the Ferrari 250 GTO. Sold at an auction for $52.7 million. And yet this is almost 3 times rarer.
One of 12.
One of 14 it was?
One of 14.
Makes you wonder how much it's worth now.
Yeah.
4.4-liter V12 with 320 horsepower. What a machine. What a gorgeous, gorgeous machine. Here we have the original Garrett Morgan design traffic light. That is neat. And it came at a good time because here's in 1902 showing footage of Cleveland Fire Department. I could just imagine what it must have been like being around at that time. How hectic it must have been. This was 2 years before the traffic light came into fruition. Can you think of a V12 car that costs the equivalent of today of $40,000, or even try to think of a car today that costs $40,000 with a V12 engine? But this Lincoln had it. Pretty advanced for the time. Beautiful interior too.
Ford stayed with rod actuated mechanical brakes longer because he had the saying the security of steel from pedal to wheel. He didn't believe in hydraulic brakes, but then as things progressed, then obviously then they started putting hydraulic brakes in them.
And of course, Henry Ford was a stubborn man.
Very stubborn, but, very intelligent, but very stubborn.
He believed in the saying, if it ain't broke, it don't fix it.
Yeah.
Now this is just too cool. It is not often one sees a car before 1900 was even a thing. But now we're looking at one. This is an 1899 Winton Phaeton. It just blows my mind that we knew the motor car as this not that long ago. And yet here we are evolving into what look like complete and utter spaceships. And I am surprised that Joseph walked right by this, but this is a Packard from 1901, a Model C runabout. He's got to see this when it comes out. James Packard was originally a light bulb manufacturer, but he moved on to cars and made some of the highest quality cars money could buy. Packard then complained to Winton, saying that his cars had some flaws in the design. So he went off to build his own car that proved to be a lot more flawless and obviously a lot better looking. Packard went on until 1958, when they were just rebadged Studebakers at that point. But the legacy lives on. Oh, what a machine. Of course, I got Sadie a sticker here, but more importantly, for their huge generosity and above all else, time to donate to them. They deserve it. There we go. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in an upcoming video. See you guys soon. I cannot tell whose Saturn that is in the distance. It just doesn't occur to me. Whose is it? It's pretty nice looking, you know? I just don't know. For some reason, it's got 4-spoke ion hubcaps on. Oh wait, it's mine. It's mine. Yeah, that's mine. And one for the album, I guess. No air bubbles. Success. Or are there air bubbles, Mr. Signet?
Okay, you're good.
I think the guy likes air bubbles a little too much.